Yeah. What's the deal, ladies and gentlemen? What's the deal? What's the deal? What's the deal? We're back with as always, the weekly Xbox Beast Fire podcast. Usual suspects, T Sweaty Balls Reaper, the Nigerian man himself, D, and crybaby ass dealer who called me when I was asleep on Sunday asking me why did I unsubscribe to his YouTube channel.
Oh my god!
What? So what type of days of our life? What the fuck does you talk about now, white boy?
Don't make me explain this shit again, man.
I'm like, who? What?
I hate to take some of this fluff out of your story.
I'm like, no, but that's how I came across. I was dreaming. I had two hot grannies on my left, two hot grannies on my right. I was about to go down. My phone's ringing. I'm like, who the fuck is this? He said, but bro, man, you okay? I said, yeah.
Here's what I said. I said, let me call this. I know this motherfucker's sleeping. That's what I told myself. I said, I know this motherfucker's sleeping. Let me call him real quick and see why he's not my subscriber list anymore, right? So instead of being a bitch about it and not confronting you, I asked you, hey, is everything cool? What's going on? You are not in my subscriber list anymore, and obviously it was a glitch.
Well, what if I just told you, listen here, motherfucker, your content makes me sick to my stomach.
5 of them, all right?
Listen, honestly, your content makes me sick to my fucking stomach. You got motherfucking T Reaper, his balls is sweaty ever since they watch one of your videos, his balls ain't stop sweating. Listen. I'm like, huh? You know what's crazy? I've never.
You need to get away from T Reaper's balls, bro. How you seeing that shit? Ball gazing motherfucker.
I never looked at my subscriber thing. What you call it? I know I get the emails. I don't even look. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not saying I'm arrogant or anything like that.
That's just how I am. I like to be straightforward.
I see you're anal. People, so. I just don't. Yeah. It is what it is, man. But anyway,
that just taught me right there. Like, hey, from now on, don't ask next gen about nothing. Just fucking think about
it. When I tell you guys, let me tell you. Listen, for you, 28 people. Let me tweet this out that are here with us live right now. When I say I'm the most laid back individual that you'll ever find on YouTube, I'm always the last to know everything. Like I'm listen, I don't fuck with no. I stay in my own world. I don't know what the hell be going on. Like I'm always late to the party. But
you did sound tired as fuck.
Yeah, I was asleep, man. You know, I party like
he's like, hello.
I'm like, hello. He said, you unsubscribed me.
No, what the fuck ever. That's not.
I thought you were cool, bro.
So full of shit, man.
I ain't got nothing
anyway,
to do
on to the fucking topic, goddammit. On to the fucking topic.
I didn't see you or the crap gamer. I said, yeah. Man. All right, shout out to my man dealer, man. That guy there was the guy. He's not afraid to show his feelings, man.
Oh, fuck off. Man. Fuck off.
Real men cry. That's all I got to say. Real men cry. But anyway, again, I guess fresh off the press. Well, let's talk about the PS4 specs. Digital Foundry. Shout out to my man Dean. This is Dean Thing here. This is his passion. The specs. It's just a tech guy. So Digital Foundry had a hands-on
Digital Foundry. Bro, they changed their name to Digital Damage Control. Didn't you hear?
I'm going to get to that. They've had I'm sorry, do I sound too loud? I'm sounding loud as hell in my ears. Am I loud? Let me turn my mic down a little bit. They've had a hands-on with the PS4 Pro. And I've said this numerous occasions and other people, and I know sometimes when you claim things are biased or things are not fair, people like to say you got the tinfoil hat on and corporate slaves and all that wild shit. And I've always said when I look at the media, regardless of whatever it is, IGN, GameSpot, anything, it should be fair and down the middle. They shouldn't have a pony or a dog in this race, right? So we've all seen the articles and Digital Foundry, how they give the edge to the Xbox, to the PlayStation 4 version, even if the game performed better on the Xbox One with a more stable frame rate. You know what I mean? They've always seemed to manage to give the edge to the PlayStation 4 because it's, sometimes, let's be honest here, a lot of the games weren't native, I guess, 1080p, or if it was 1080p, sometimes meant a dynamic resolution. And we have also seen that several of these games, multiplex, took one game comes to Call of Duty was an Advanced Warfare, dropped down to like 30 frames because they had what you call dynamic resolution. I'm sorry, that native resolution. But the Call of Duty after that was a dynamic 1080p. But anyway, like I said, they've given the edge to several games that was on the PlayStation 4. Cool, you know what I mean? Just because it's saying it was native 1080p or whatever the case may be. Now I'm not claiming to be one about the resolution and frames per second. It's not really a big deal to me, but I always thought that it was frames FPS over resolution any day. Both consoles upscale, you know what I mean? So I said it to say this. So now they're saying or claiming that this checkerboard. How did they put it, Dean? When the image is standing still. No, when this is what he said. So when the image is staying still, that's a 4K native picture. But when he started, who plays a video game and the character stays still? But what caught me, I can't make this shit up. When he was saying it's not that big of a, I guess, going from 1080p upscaling to 4K. Now, last time I checked, I thought 4K was 1080p times 4, right?
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah. All right. Now, follow me here. Now, they make a big deal, and he actually said here, well, it's not the same thing. It's going from 900p to 1080p. That's a big of a deal than going from actually 1080p to 4K. You know what I mean? They saying, well, it's beautiful. And again, I'm not saying games are not going to look beautiful on the PlayStation 4. So please don't mix my words here. I'm not saying that. I'm not even saying that I have a problem with anything in upscaling, okay? But I just find it ironic that now, after 3 years, upscaling wasn't okay. Now that the PS4 is not going to have the quote-unquote the more powerful console, and it's not going to be 4K native, now everything's all right. You're not going to be missing anything. Now everything 4K is okay. You know what I mean? But not even so much that. He went on and talked about the bottlenecks in the console, and they kind of downplayed that too. Talking about the anemic CPU, where they still stay with the same CPU, and basically what he said. Daniel, you want to explain to him basically what he was saying, that we're not going to get the better textures and stuff. It's just going to be a resolution because of the same the 8 gigs of RAM. You want to elaborate?
Yeah. They said because of the bandwidth, it doesn't allow them to add the extra texture. So basically, what you're going to get with the PS4 Pro is basically the PS4 version upscaled to 4K. They said that the majority of the games they expect to be like this. They said, the odd game, they might put a little more effort in, some developers, to get some extra textures. But for the most part, you're going to be looking at PS4 games just upscaled to 4K. So like with no extra textures, no extra effects, just a higher resolution.
That was a weird thing, wasn't it? Because they didn't have enough RAM for more textures, which is understandable, and they're idiots for leaving it at 8 gigs, right? But they didn't increase the lighting, the God rays. I mean, there was no extra features, like you said, no extra smoke, kind of physics. There was nothing, and it was all just 1800p upscaled to 4K.
Yeah, I was shocked. I was shocked because when I was looking, I said, "Wow, this game looks good." I was looking at the lighting and stuff, it looks good, and now they're telling us that it looks exactly the same on the PS4 version, the regular PS4 version. Just that this version, it's upscaled, so it's a little bit cleaner because it's closer to a 4K image. But the same effects, same. Actually, they said the frame rate actually took a hit. They said that the frame rate was actually worse in the PS4 Pro version than it was in the PS4 version.
Wait, say that again. What happened here?
They had a lot of drops. It wasn't holding 60. They were having drops down to like 40, 45 frames per second. And they said that wasn't the case with the regular PS4 version. So what's happening is that they're going at a higher resolution, but they still have a crappy CPU, and they still have the same amount of RAM. Okay, I think they allocated a little bit more. I don't know. I think it was like 512 or something like that. They allocated more for the PS4 Pro. So
yeah, it's flexible memory, so the OS
but that's not enough to run it at a higher resolution.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not. So it's got the same exact 8 gigs, just so we're clear, but 500 more megabytes of that, the OS can send where it's needed.
Wait, let me get this straight. Let me hear you guys clearly here. You know what I mean? I don't want to miss anyone's words here. So you're basically telling me that their mid-cycle refresh, the more powerful PS4 Pro, it's running games worse than the standard PlayStation 4.
The frame rate on Call of Duty, yeah. That's what they said, according to that game. Now, let's keep in mind, let's be fair, the game is not out yet, so they can still optimize it.
I heard that it wasn't actually optimized yet either.
Yeah, they could still optimize it more, but currently, it's running worse on the PS4 Pro, just at a higher resolution.
If you have supposedly a beefier GPU and CPU. How is this even possible?
Because the GPU it doesn't have enough memory bandwidth. It doesn't have a fast enough RAM. So like you'd want to be using a faster RAM for the higher res there. The RAM's at the same speed if I'm correct. And they only have 512 megabytes more to use, which is not enough for the higher resolution. And like I said, the CPU's kind of crap in that. And the memory bandwidth, did the memory bandwidth increase? It's the same, right?
It went from 197 to 217, which is very minimal.
That's not much. So
you're talking about with Xbox One, you're going from 200 to over 320 gigabytes.
Yeah,
and they get 200 if they use the ES RAM. So
yeah, and 320 is good enough for 4K. On my R9 390, I'm pretty sure it's like 318 or 320 or something like that, and that's enough to run 4K.
Wait. Listen, now, man, like this is bananas, right? I mean, if this, I understand the game comes out in a month, maybe. What's the month? Is October now, right?
Yeah.
When does Call of Duty come out? November or October?
November 4th.
Okay, so just say you got about a month before Call of Duty comes out, right? The game was about to go gold now in about a week or two. You know, I mean, it was not gold already. They got to start shipping and retail and all that stuff. If this was to happen, if this is the case in the retail version of Call of Duty, what's the name of Infinite Warfare? Whatever the hell the name is?
Yeah.
Infinite, whatever the case may be. And it runs worse than the standard PlayStation 4. That's a slap in the face.
That's a problem for those who
are
marketing
the real problem is the fact that they're using this new box to up-res shit when they could just increase the actual graphics fidelity, like better textures, lighting. Like that's what this box that they're getting should be for. But instead they're wasting it on 1800p with the exact same settings.
1400p.
Fucking stupid.
Well, according to what they said, they're gonna. This game doesn't appear to be one of them, but they are going to be doing that for some games. Some games they're going to have like three options: the upscale option, I think a 30 frame per second option, and then I think the 30 frame per second option has like all the bells and whistles, has everything turned up to like max.
Yeah, but they can't do a lock 60.
And then they're going to have a 60 frames per second option.
Let's be clear.
The regular PS4 games at 1080p.
Okay.
With no extra effects, I'm pretty sure they can run them at 60 frames per second. The GPU. But
you still would need a beefier CPU because
not really. No, for that. No, the regular PS4 games with that GPU, I'm talking no extra effects, just the exact same way.
Look at Tomb Raider, right?
Right.
They give you the option for the. Now here's the thing I don't understand because, maybe I'm not understanding this, but look at the Xbox One S upscales everything to 4K, right?
Right.
Why not just pick 1080p 30 if you can't get 1080p 60 and have it upscaled to 4K? Because if you look at Tomb Raider, the new Tomb Raider is coming out. They said 1080p 30, the upscale 4K version, and they're supposed to be 1080p on uncapped frame rate or whatever. It's like 40 frames per second. It's still not 60. You know what I mean? So I don't. I'm just being mean. I'm not claiming to be.
Yeah, but to be fair, on the PC, that game is very demanding. Like you're not on a good high card. You're not really gonna get 60.
The Xbox One was able to pull it off, right? 1080p 30, right?
Yeah.
We agree on that?
What they said, too, is there's going to be basically, like you said, an uncapped, which is supposed to be 60, but really isn't even close to that. There's supposed to be a high-fidelity 1080p with 30, which is basically going to be, a high-fidelity 30, which can be like that 14 to 1800p upscale, but same settings as PS4. And there's supposed to be a high-fidelity 1080 at 30 frames, I do believe, that's supposed to have like ultra settings, 1080 30. That's the way they're going with it.
So this game isn't going to be 60?
No.
Really?
I think they're going to try to have a toggle, but yeah.
It was 1080p. They was running it there. It was 1080p 40.
1080p 40.
Yeah, 1080p 40. It's not it's not 60. It never hit 60.
Great. What they need to do is just use super sampling for 1080p users, so they'll get a more crisp image. Because honestly tell you, I like the Xbox One S and the upscale. It does a better job than my actual TV does. But if you're going from 1400p or 1800p and you're upscaling it, it's going to be much cleaner.
You know, at the end of the day, this is not what I was expecting. You guys know, I mean, you know, some of you guys in the comment section, I went against the grain on BGST for this PlayStation 4 Pro. You know what I mean? Give credit where credit's like. I said, I'm a gamer. Even though I bleed green, this is a disappointment here, you know? If you're talking about, you know, and I'm not saying that the PS4 is not more powerful than the standard PS4. No shit, Sherlock. It's 4.2 teraflops. But it's all brunt GPU force. Trying to stick with that $400 price tag. I wish they would have put more RAM in it and a better CPU and just charge us fucking $500 and call it a fucking day.
Really, the RAM, because that's something that they noted at high resolutions. The textures stay at 1080p quality or lower, while everything else gets up-resed, and you can really tell that those textures are being stretched and they're just lower quality.
Yeah,
compared to native 4K textures.
Now listen, like I said, if all's true, like I don't think no what rings clear in my head. Album, you don't know how to make a console. It's looking like, ladies and gentlemen, that the Xbox Scorpio. I don't get in the comments because I wanted to break the thing about the specs of the PS4 Pro and being in Digital Foundry, because I heard a lot. I watched the video that you sent me, Dean. It was like a 25-minute video, and it sounded like a bunch of damage control. You know what I mean? If you guys haven't seen it, just watch on the video on Digital Foundry, hands-on with the PlayStation 4. Things that they slammed the Xbox One for in the past, they're now patting Sony in the back for us. And the collaring their fans saying it's not that big of a deal, which we've always said wasn't that big of a deal. You know what I mean? I'm not saying nothing's wrong with upscaling. It is what it is. But this generation, thus far, we all know this, is what's been the Achilles heels and the thorn in Microsoft's side has been, not being able to hit 1080p all of the time like the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? It is what it is. But now, like I said, now we're in the time and day and the age where 4K is a new craze. I remember when the PS3 came out, everything was 1080p. Now we're hearing 4K. And I will say this: I read the article. I don't know if you sent it to me, Dean. Someone sent it to me that the 4K TV adoption rate is much higher than we would from the standard to HD. So that's good. I mean, so everything we all 4K crazy now, and going forward, this is going to be the new fad. 4K. Then I guess until 8K becomes popular, whatever the case may be. But they're now, to look like to me, they're trying to soften the blow before the Scorpio gets here. Well, you can just, just Sony with this checkerboard, with the way they're doing it. Because remember how they ripped Quantum Break a new ass. Now, the same way they was putting the pictures together, even though it was a 1080p image that you got, it was 720p, you know what I mean? And they ripped Remedy for doing it with Quantum Break. But now it's okay for Sony. This is the shit that I'm talking about. At the end of the day, like Sony, had listen. Let's be real with this. But I read the comments you guys send me. All you Xbox fans, now you want to talk about power and yes, because that's all you guys talked about for the last 3 years. I want to be clear.
We never said either that we didn't want power or that more wasn't better either, which is something I hear.
Yeah, but there's a difference.
We were saying there's a minimal difference between 900 and 1080p. That's what we were saying.
Yeah, there's a difference between giving us power and then giving power that actually works for the games that you're questioning. So if you can't even get your star player Call of Duty to at a regular 60 frames, you got a problem there.
Well, and again, I want to be clear this, okay? It's one thing about being an anemic console. Like a prime example, you had the Xbox 360, the PS3, then you had the Wii. You understand what I'm saying? It's one thing to be not a capable console. I can see if multi-plats wasn't coming to the Xbox One, or developers weren't making games for the Xbox One because it was too weak. We all got the same games, you know what I mean? So I know, and a lot of people, maybe they're not old enough or say this thing. I hate when they say, well, the PS2 wasn't the most powerful, still kicked ass. You know why the PS2 kicked ass? This is the guys on this truth. A, cheapest DVD player at the time. No bullshit. B, all of these great multiplats that you see now were exclusives back then. And then C, even though the PS2 was the weakest compared to the GameCube and the Xbox One, you didn't have whole games or titles skipping the PS2 because I think it was maybe 2 or 3 games that didn't come out on the PS2 because it wasn't strong. I think it was Rainbow Six and there was one other.
Oblivion.
They didn't come to the PS2 because it wasn't powerful.
The Elder Scrolls Oblivion was one that didn't come to PS2.
Whatever, there you go. But you know what I mean. But other than that, everything came to the PS2. Yes, it looked slightly better on the Xbox, the OG Xbox, but it wasn't that big of a deal. Let's be clear. Again, I say that to say this. You know, like I said, they painted this picture like the shit box and 720p box. It was anemic. And again, I tell you guys all the time, and I want you guys to get your opinions and tell me how you feel. I'm a gamer at the end of the day, and if games looked at 50, 60% better, so you say on my PlayStation 4, I will buy them on my PlayStation 4. Prime example, the PS4 Pro is coming out. I'm going to get Watch Dogs. If I get the game, I'm going to get it on my PS4 Pro. Why? Because it's going to look better than on my Xbox One. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm not some fucking rabid fanboy. Well, girls have you try to paint me, but it's one thing to be the less powerful, but then, just still be a capable console. The Wii U wasn't a capable console. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was. It was a capable system.
Nah, you had hope.
The Wii U was a capable system. Did you see the IGN daily?
Here you go.
You see that IGN?
It is a capable system.
Did you see IGN Daily Fix where they were talking about Albert Pinella talking about the Pro not being able to do 4K and all that? And the Naomi bitch was damage control in there. She's like, yeah, because that's all we care about is pixels. Or basically like hinted to like some added snarky bullshit like that in that video. Like it's seriously ridiculous, and they profited and grew off of this, just like all these other YouTubers, right? They grew off the negativity, and now it's no big fucking deal. So it's crazy.
Well, the PS4 Scorpio the PS4 Pro is still going to win because it's going to be cheap in price. Now we're worried about the price, right?
Hey, sorry, I got excited there, man. On the price thing, did you watch? You listened to the Albert Pinella interview with Digital Foundry, and the way he kind of laid it out there, he's like, you know what? It's going to be very interesting when we have this conversation next year.
He said we're going to have some fun things to talk about.
Yeah, that makes me believe that this console is going to probably be priced the same as a PS4 Pro.
And unlike the Pro, this bitch is going to have 4K Blu-ray as well. So, and
that's crazy.
He said they're aiming to have 4K Blu-ray player in the box.
Yeah. So if they could get this out at $400, six teraflops, say by then it's like 7 teraflop system with Zen and Vegas architecture in there. Holy shit, man.
That would be absolutely fucking insane.
That would sell like hotcakes. PC guys would say, you know what? I'm gonna grab one of these, and you know what? When I don't want to play on my PC, this is so good. I'm gonna put it in my bedroom and play it there, and I'm gonna get almost the same experience I can get on my PC.
Mm-hmm. Well, now if you listen to what Phil was saying, Phil was saying that games right now are being made with Scorpio in mind, and with the extra files or whatever to take advantage of the extra power of the PS4. I'm sorry, of the Xbox Scorpio. Which, like I said again, that's why I'm not going to buy too many multiplex on the PS4 Pro because I don't want to double dip. I already done double dip once, and I bought Shadow Mordor for the PS4 just to see how it looks on the Pro. You know what I mean? I have the console to play on it. But games like Mass Effect and all these games, if they're going to support the PS4 Pro and run better, they're also going to support the Xbox Scorpio. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, we know they're already coding things like Battlefield 1. Things that come out next month, they will have Scorpio patches. So, yeah.
You know what I mean? They can be added, you know what I mean? Like I said, I can't wait, and I'm excited. I've seen so many damage control videos. Well, you would have waited a year, and then that Scorpio is going to be $800. Why got to be $800? Like, that's I guess man fear what they don't understand, hate what they can't conquer. Like that's the
next gen's got wads of money on his dining room table. He doesn't care about his freaking $800.
It's not going to be $800 fucking dollars. Like those people don't understand. They don't have any kind of business sense. You cannot release more than $100 near your nearest competitor. You can't do it. So the most it's going to be is $499. I feel like, and they might have a terabyte speed or something.
I don't think it's gonna. I think the most is gonna be after his telling interview there. I think the most is gonna be is 450. I think they really understand that this thing has to come out competitively priced,
maybe
and it has to.
maybe two versions, maybe.
And they could make that happen. That's the best part. They could hit that if they really wanted to.
Yeah, I have to think. Listen, this is.
Hello.
We're down for the mic.
What happened now?
Microsoft has billions of dollars, right? So technically, they could sell this console at a loss, and they'll make it back right away off of like Xbox Live and off of their software.
Yes, they make their money off their software, royalty checks from third party. Like I told you guys, next gen, in one of my many lives, I'm the bus driver, the taxi driver, the air pilot. I got 1,000. Anyway, back in my heyday, when I was younger, I used to have a little mom and pop store that stole video games, and we used to buy them. I used to buy them from the wholesaler, whatever the case may be. And you take a multi-plat game. That's what I tell you guys, multi-plats rule. And just say at the time games were $50 back then. Say if I wanted to buy John Madden 96, right? So I will buy the game for like $43 and make $7 off them. But out of that, you think Microsoft gets like a $15 cut off that $43. You know what I mean? The rest of the shit goes to the publisher or whatever the case may be. That's why you see GameStop pushing these used games and shit. You know, that's where they make their money. It's like 100%, 150% profit. You know what I mean? They give you $10 for it, $15 and sell it for $45. You know what I mean? But anyway, that's just free money in Microsoft's pocket. You know what I mean? Their software being sold. Software being sold on, their hardware. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, so all the money's in the software. That's why Microsoft wants their software on as many devices as possible. And hardware, hardware takes money. You lose money making, with hardware. So they probably take a little hit, but not even so much that. Even with the Zen, if you look at what AMD was saying, that's affordable for people to experience 4K gaming. Very cheap. At the end of the day. But speaking of art, let me ask you now. Dealer. No, Dean. I'm sorry. I know that you're getting the PS4 Pro, right?
Yeah.
All right. What about you, dealer?
No way.
No? Like, hell no.
I mean, I like to consolidate my electronics. So I mean, if it doesn't have a 4K Blu-ray player or anything, I'm not gonna, No, I got an Xbox that's coming in the mail. So.
Okay, it's Xbox. What about you, T Sweaty Balls Reaper?
Well, I got my computer back, so now I can talk. Yes, you got about more of a chance of me buying a Wii U. Actually, is probably what you're gonna see. But I do say this to the people that want me to get one. If Kingdom Hearts 3 does not only not sell in Xbox One stuff in Japan, but also in the US, then I'll go buy a Pro. But right now it's only sold out. It's only not selling in Japan. So that Xbox model is not selling in Japan, but it's still selling in the US. So as long as I can still have my Kingdom Hearts, I won't need a Pro. It
may not come out in Japan, but I don't even understand. Even with that, what happens is I had someone explain this to me. Like, how could a game come out here in the States and not come out in Japan? Well, we all know that Microsoft has a very, very low install base.
Yeah, and I can understand them not launching in Japan because your install base is 0 on the Xbox One in Japan.
But most 99.9% of the people that bought the Xbox One in Japan are on American military bases. That I know. But secondly, you have these big party games like, say take a game like Batman, Arkham Knight didn't come in, whatever the case may be. You may have a company like Konami that may publish it, take the hit and publish it to bring it over there to Japan, and they're not actually, putting it over. But like I said, the Xbox One is region free, so is the PlayStation 4. I don't know why they don't the gamers the option to download the game digitally. Put it out digitally over there. But I don't know, laws. I don't know. Japan got a lot of different things that we have here.
As long as I can have my Kingdom Hearts 3 on Xbox One, I don't care. But if I somehow have to force myself to go buy Pro just for that one game, I'll do it. But I want to make sure it's confident that I have to do it because I'm not.
It'll be a good trade-in. It'll be a good trade-in towards Scorpio, right?
For me,
well, I'm only getting one Scorpio, so I'm not getting two. I already spent about $1,000 on both my S's this year, so next year I want to get myself a new TV, and next year I want my Scorpio. So I want to have my nice tax refund go towards both those things.
Okay, all right. So no God of War, no Horizon Zero Dawn, no
Horizon Zero Dawn can go can go beyond Dawn for all I care. But you know, it's
ladies and gentlemen,
God of War 4. I'm not really interested in a Norse remake. That doesn't really interest me very much. I'm not.
Ladies and gentlemen, I do apologize. I try to bring you guys a level-headed Xbox podcast without the Xbox fanboy, and I do apologize, man. These brothers here, man. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, man. You know.
I mean, that's what it is, though. It is a Norse remake, and I actually had a long argument a couple months back about this. That's what God of War 4 is. It's the Norse remake. So they basically took the character and they put it in a new setting and a new mythology. Or
they had to. I mean, have you played any of the God of War TV, bro?
I beat them all.
Okay, so you know God of War 3. God of War 3. Well, I only played God of War 3 and God of War Ascension. I didn't do the other ones on the PSP or whatever. But you know that killed Zeus in 3. So
yeah, I know that. I know the ending.
I'll be honest with you, God of War. I wish that's one thing I do. Not saying I'm envious, but I will give Sony credit for. They have the better one-player story-driven games.
Yeah.
Than Microsoft. That's the one. Microsoft is more, have the multiplayer thing down on Smash. I wish, like I said, Microsoft. Like I'm so mad that games like Quantum Break didn't do well. Sunset Overdrive. You know what I mean? That's one thing I can say that I wish Microsoft had more.
Well, I'll put it this way: I borrowed my friend's PS3 for 24 hours to play the Kingdom Hearts 2 remake, and I bought it. So I went to go buy I bought the remake from GameStop. I played the remake on my he was a driver of mine, so he drove me around. So he let me borrow it for 48 hours. I beat it in 28. And I returned it for GameStop, got my full money back, and then I gave him his PS3 back. So if I could still do that now, I probably wouldn't. I wouldn't be much wasted. But you have to give me a reason in order to invest in a product, and one reason is all I need. But if it's none
of those games interest you? Horizon Zero Dawn, Uncharted 4,
Last Days or whatever it's called,
No Days Left,
All Days Gone. No, that's
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man doesn't interest me.
Wow. Well, then, that's your preference. But honest to tell you, as myself as a gamer, those I like the first the action games, like the single player action games that they have. I really like those games. The what's it called, Days Gone or whatever. That one looks very interesting. I want to play God of War. That looks
like a Dead Rising ripoff, but that's just me.
It looks like doesn't look. No, I don't think so.
Dead Rising
is very goofy.
It's comedy.
Yeah, Dead Rising. This is very gritty.
Yeah, that's why I don't like Dead Rising. It's too damn silly.
Yeah, Armageddon type of game. As a gamer, to be honest with you, if they didn't have these things announced, I don't think I'd be getting a PS4 Pro because PS4 now, to me, is basically the Naughty Dog box for me. I dislike the Naughty Dog games for my PS4. The rest of the games, I really don't care for, apart from Infamous. Infamous got a little tedious and repetitive over time. So. However, it still was a good game, and the graphics were pretty crazy. Like it was a nice looking game. So that and the Naughty Dog games. Apart from that, there's nothing else that really interests me.
But just to be fair here, Dodine, your game simulator, right?
Oh, did you guys hear about that new N64 emulator?
Yeah, shoot. I mean, tell us about it. How was it?
Oh, yeah, it's in the store.
I don't know. Everybody.
Yeah, it's in the store. You can download it from the
paid app. Is it free?
It's free.
Okay. And what can you do with this app? Talk to me.
I guess you can put ROMs on it and play the games.
You can play like Nintendo 64 games on it. So Super Mario 64, people have been playing on it, and a few others.
Sega is also a Dreamcast emulator. That would be ill. They get the Dreamcast emulator.
I can't believe that's a thing on the Xbox One. There's also free streaming apps. Like I tried out the Batman one. They're not listed publicly. If you go to the App Store, they're not there. But you have to search for them, or at least
on the website.
What is this?
It's on the Xbox Store. The Xbox Store.
What game is this?
Xbox, it's an app. They're streaming apps for all kinds of different shows. So I tried out the Batman one, right? So you just go to the store on the Xbox dashboard, type in Batman, and there'll be an app called Free Batman or whatever streaming app. And you can watch every single episode of pretty much every single Batman episode.
What, the old school Batman?
Like the animated series. They got all the different series on there. And that's just one example. I use that as an example because I tried it, but it works. I mean, there are ads that pop up on the sides and above the video, and you can pay like $2 to get rid of those. But I mean, you can watch all this stuff for free and it works. And I'm like, what the fuck? The legalities of this? How is this even on the console? You know, so that's really cool. That and the emulator, pretty nuts.
The app once the app is on the net, you know what I mean? It's not like Microsoft is selling it and making money from it. They said that all apps that come to Windows 10 will be able to run on you. And I said this before. I said don't be surprised to see PS now on the fucking in the Microsoft store. You know what I mean? I'm just being honest here. Don't be fucking surprised to see that. It was able to run on Windows 10 or whatever the case may be, and your Xbox One is a Windows 10 device. Now, is it something I was subscribed to? No. But I'm just saying, don't be surprised. I mean, I guess it'd be some ammo for this quote-unquote console war, some rocks for your slingshot. But, you know.
Pretty neat, nonetheless, you know. It's pretty neat.
You know, don't be surprised. You know what I mean? But it's like I said, it's an app, you know, because the app, you know, at the end of the day. But speaking of Nintendo app, we've had some more. I got some, bring up the article here. And I want to talk to Dean, the tech guy. Let me get what you think about this. I did a little 40-minute rant about it earlier today. I since have calmed down. But
those guys in the comment section were really hounding you.
You know,
did you guys see the comment that said tell me how 6 teraflops is going to give me 4K 60? That guy was asking you the question.
Okay, first, well, I want to answer that. First of all, we're using the Vega architecture. We don't really know anything about this architecture.
Yes.
The 6 teraflops that they measure there could equal 8, 9 teraflops on the old architecture. We don't know that. We also don't know what type of compression algorithms they're using. We don't know all the new features that come to that architecture. We just don't know yet. So we know that the Polaris line is out. And the Polaris line, the full highest Polaris line, can do 4K 30 frames per second, can do 4K 40, 45 frames per second on certain games. Mm-hmm. Okay, now this is the low end of their new GPUs. Vega is going to be the high-end GPU. So you know it's going to be beyond that. You know, Microsoft has a high memory bandwidth, which is needed for the higher resolution. And we know that they're going to be using Zen. Now, we don't know all of the benefits that we're going to get with Zen, and we don't know how Zen is going to interact with Vega. So you guys should just hold your horses, man. And also to add,
take it a step forward, man, and remind them that you've got a fucking card in your PC right now that's 5.5 T-flops, and you're doing 4K 60 on several games.
Okay, for instance, Forza Horizon.
The microwave is broken.
That game on my R9 390, I can play it with ultra settings, and I get unlocked 30 frames per second at 4K native, fully amped out.
So you got it on 4K 30 ultra, with 5.5 T-flops on an older architecture.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay, yeah. You know, Microsoft's already confirmed 4K for all their launch Scorpio games. We know Scorpio is going to have Forza Motorsport 7 at launch. That game has never run below 60, so 4K 60 on Forza Motorsport 7.
And they can make slight changes too, just by like sacrificing shadow resolution instead of using an ultra to use like a medium. That alone gives you so much more frames per second. And in a console, they have just one set of hardware to work with, and they optimize the hell out of that system. It's a lot different. Look at for instance Forza on the original Xbox One. It's 1.3 teraflops. That game is running at 1080p. 30 frames per second, buttery smooth. Some guys, well,
wait. 1080, 30. What? You talking about the OG Xbox or the Xbox One?
The OG Xbox. It's running 1080, 30 on that game.
No, that game was 1080, 60 on the OG Xbox.
I'm talking Xbox. I'm sorry. I'm talking the new Forza Horizon 3.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. It's 30 frames per second. But on the OG Xbox, which is 1.3 teraflops, you got people that have like 970. They're not getting 60 frames per second on the PC right now. For whatever reason, the game seems to be more optimized at 30 frames per second. And a lot of people are saying, screw it. And they're just dropping down to 30 frames per second to get that smooth experience. I've even read some other users saying, you know what, screw it. I'll wait till maybe they patch the PC version or something. I'm going to play the Xbox One version because it's a lot smoother and it's a better experience right now. And that's 1.3 teraflops. So imagine if they have 6 teraflops and they optimize it. You guys are talking right out of your asses. And to be honest with you, regardless, it's more powerful than your PS4 Pro at 4.2 teraflops. So what are you guys really saying?
You know what? This is what it is. It's the narrative of if Sony would have came out and said that their console or whatever, the PS4 Pro, will be able to do 4K 60 with the specs that we know right now, no one would question that. No one. But then at Microsoft, there's no way. And again, I tell people week after week, you're comparing your PC, even though you may have a GTX 2530, right? That whatever how many flops you have, whatever your card is, that's not all allocated towards gaming, for gaming. If you're watching this on a computer right now, if you don't understand what I'm saying, hit Control Alt Delete and look at your CPU usage. This is when you're watching a YouTube video. You know what I mean? When first a console, you have a closed environment. I keep saying this 1,001 times. You have a closed environment, and developers know what they're targeting 100% of the time. It's not like I'm not saying that you don't have games that are poorly optimized for consoles and bugs. It happens, you know what I mean? But games are better optimized on console than PC. What do you want? Give you an example?
Yeah.
Give you an example? Batman Arkham Knight. You see that shit there? You know what I mean? Ran 50 times better on an Xbox One than someone having a GTX 552.5 Ti Zi. You know what I mean? Bag that they had to get back refunds. You know what I mean? But I don't understand when people. I just keep saying the same thing over and again. We don't have any benchmarks for Zen and Vega. We don't have any. You know what I mean? I just don't think Microsoft will come out. Well, even if you listen to the article from Albert Pinello, they asked the developers what is needed. You know what I mean? This is not something that they pulled out of the ass. They asked the developers what was needed to achieve 4K gaming on the Xbox Scorpio or Project Scorpio. Speaking of which, Phil, keep the name Scorpio. It's ringing. I can't get used to that PS4 Pro. I can't get used to that.
You know, there was somebody had commented on one of the videos, and they were saying, "Well, my GPU, it's dedicated just for graphics." And it gets way more out of this than a console. Yeah, like they were saying that their GPU is dedicated only for graphics, and that's all it does, and their PC and that. Yeah, I don't fucking know either. Yeah,
what about the CPU?
That's what I'm saying. Like he says, basically consoles were not handling that stuff as efficiently when everyone knows that consoles have a much lower level API than any kind of PC out there.
Of course.
And it's just it's nuts. That was the whole. I don't know how this misinformation gets out there, and people ask, "Why are you talking about this week after week?" Because you motherfuckers ain't listening. That's why. So we have to kind of cover this over and over, and it's fucking crazy because
that was. Sorry, that was the whole purpose of DX12 was to make it closer to the console, to get it closer to the metal. That was the whole purpose of it. Also,
even though it may have 8-core CPU, you know, you still were using with DirectX 11 and lower, you were still only using 1 core at a time. And with DirectX 12, all of the cores in the CPU, whatever the case, are firing out. You know, I mean, it's not one go, you go, one go.
Yeah.
They all can be able to converse with the GPU.
Omagazio says we're wrong. Omagazio says we're wrong. Wow. Apparently, he's building a science guy now. I don't fucking know. He's not descriptive.
What are we wrong about? What are we wrong about?
He doesn't know. He doesn't know. Just like he said, I was lying about PS4 games earlier. I asked him which ones. He doesn't know. He doesn't know. So, what do you know, Omagazio? How are we wrong, buddy? Tell us.
I know something. He doesn't have a PS4, so I don't know what the hell he's talking about.
He didn't don't get a PC.
Nice. Listen here. Omiziaku's he's a faithful customer. He comes every week, show up the show. He's there with his knee highs on, with his compression socks, and his feet and shit swelling up, standing up, popping shit all day. Just leave him alone, man. Yeah, we gonna start a Kickstarter for Omiziaku, get him a PS4.
It's hard to do, bro. It's hard to do.
Omiziaku gonna get the PS4 when the PS5 come out. He one of them type dudes, man. You know you live in a third world country.
You gotta get the PS4 emulator in 5 years on the Xbox One.
But anyway, to move this conversation along, I don't know. Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. I can.
So, and again, I want you because it's something that we talked about here in the past, and I want to get you guys' opinion on this because I got kind of attacked today. And shout out to my man, Road Gamer 27. I want to say this, right?
Oh, what was up with that?
You
restarted it at the very end. Was that just to refresh your page?
What you talking about?
Your video, your Nintendo video.
What happened at the end of the page?
At the end of the video, you addressed Real Gamer.
Oh no, because he sent me a question. He said I was reading something that he said to me. That's why I was reading. I looked at the question, and so I didn't see it at the time. So when I realized or when I remembered, that's when I just answered this question. That was it about. But what I hear from the Nintendo fans, whatever the case may be, I don't understand this. How should I say it? I'm gonna choose my words wisely here because I don't want to offend anyone. Okay, this is not this type of video, but when I don't understand when you say when you want Nintendo to put out a capable console, you guys come back. Well, we already got Xbox and Sony, and we don't need 3 consoles to do the same. I'm not saying that Nintendo or they can still play the flutes and the Skittles over in the corner, but at least make hardware that developers can bring their games to life and and you won't get the handicap version of Call of Duty and Madden like you got for the Wii. What is so wrong with that? Okay? Yeah, and again, I maybe because I'm a little older than you guys and a little longer than two. Yes, I'm 30 years old. I tell you guys time and time again, Nintendo is what got me into gaming. Let me come closer to my mic here. And I'm going to tell you the great one. This is coming from the day and era where some of Nintendo's, I say this again, the greatest games were made by third party. You know what I mean? Castlevania, Contra, Mega Man, Ghosts and Goblins, The Karate Kid, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Double Dragon. I can go on and on. Tecmo Bowl, Double Dribble. I can go on and on and on and on. Okay? But again, and I'm not saying they can't still do, let me say this. It's their exclusives that you guys like to play the Mario that gives a console its identity, which is cool. No problem. So again, even though they might have got the same multi-plats, Nintendo will still be Nintendo. But because they have the Mario, the Zelda, and this extra gimmick on top of that, fine. But for this is to be the 3rd generation in a row, if these rumors are true, that Nintendo sacrificed the specs of the console to include a gimmick. We all know the Wii, it was a big commercial success, but that console wasn't bought by 100 million gamers. It was bought by a bunch of soccer moms. It is what it was, just cool. It sells itself, doesn't matter. And I'm not knocking that. But you look at the Wii U, why they sacrificed the specs of the console to include a tablet that no one asked for. You know what I mean? That they didn't support. What they should have did was they shouldn't gimped out on the GPU, the CPU, put more RAM in the console, and sold the tablet as an extra peripheral, like the Wii balance board, and made some games that took advantage of the tablet. You understand what I'm saying? One strike against Nintendo. And then also too, they released a next generation console. They couldn't run any next generation engines. Now you guys, sometimes you guys have amnesia. The Wii U wasn't the 360 and the PS3's competition. The Wii U's competition was the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. So you see where I'm going with this. So now I have the article up here in front of me, and it says here Nintendo NX handheld hybrid GPU CPU upgrade attachment. A Foxconn worker, we overhauled this, leaks potential new details about the NX, saying the NX is a console handheld hybrid that has a swappable GPU CPU attachment. Okay, I'm gonna skip down to the juicy part. This is the juicy part. I read this already. Let's get down to the juicy part. All right. Where do you go? Where's it at? Hold on, I went down too far. Okay. Additional info. Let's check it out now. Whatever the solution, I'm sorry, because it talks about the SoC. So the handheld part is a 6-inch screen, a 6-inch 720p screen, and has a low TDP SoC. Now we're going to ignore the fact that we have most cell phones have at least a 1440p display, at least a 1080p display, but that's neither here nor there. But it says here that in additional info, whatever the solution will be for the computing power, because they said they don't know if they're going to use the Pascal's SoC from NVIDIA or AMD R9 SoC. But it says the computing power, it has falls far behind a PS4, let alone a PS4 Pro. Now, listen, we're talking about some hardware that's coming out in 2017 that's not on par with hardware that came out in 2013. Now, again, if you look at this, it gets better. If you look at this diagram here, we have about 3 pieces of hardware. Like I told Crap yesterday on BGST. No way, Crap always goes against me, but watch what Crap. This is what Crap does. Something I say, and he's gonna create credit for 2 months from down the line. Bullshit, not. But I told Crap that the Nintendo NX is not going to be cheap. we got here 3 pieces of hardware that they're making, right? So again, and the thing about it, the Wii U right now is still $300. I don't expect this console to be less than $400. But you know, again, they sacrifice the specs of their console. They add all this shit. These little no one's asking for this shit here. The room, and you know what? Another gimmick. Like I wish the fucking Wii would have failed, and they could just went back to making straight consoles. You know what I mean? Because they just think that they always try to. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. You know, trying to innovate and bring something new to the table, but you can't just go so far left. And you know, you still need meat and potatoes over there. Like, you know what I mean? Who wants a plate full of vegetables? I'm not a vegan. Well, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get it, man. I don't, man. I'm just, and the people that are, that are damaging, controlling this. Now it's, because again, when there's smoke, there's fire. These are the same individuals, bro, that have been asking for Nintendo to put out a more powerful console. My Obi-Wan, he's my man. Just not diss to him, but what is going on, everybody? And you talking about how Nintendo, the NX is getting Unreal Engine 4, so it's going to be a powerful console. They're putting out a console in 2017 that's not on par with hardware that came out in 2013. Is something wrong with that to y'all? Or am I just bucking and just taking this? Come on.
I mean, I think the idea behind the NX is cool, but it's not.
Really explain? What is this idea? Explain to me.
The idea where you can take it's a hybrid. That's basically what it is. It's a handheld console hybrid. So you can supposedly this is how I think it's supposed to work. Is you have the 6-inch 720p screen, which is right. It's not even on par with what we have today, let alone back 3 years ago. So you can basically take it on the go, and then this is how I think it is meant to work. Is when you hook it up to your television, it amps it, and then it improves the quality drastically. Whereas if you're just looking at a 6-inch screen. But where no matter where you go, where you're on the go, whether you're in front of a screen, I think the main power will come when it's attached to the main architecture of the television.
Okay. But again, you're still falling short of consoles that came out in 2013.
True, that's what the funny part about it is.
Is this going to lead? Is this going to lead to the NX getting version of these multiplats again?
Here's the only way that this can work with this low power NX. If they're going to stick with a 6-inch screen, you said you've got an iPhone 6s, right? That's got a 750p screen on it. Or you got an iPhone 6 or 6s, you probably got a 1080 on that one. The normal phones have a 650 piece or 750p screen on them, and that's what I'm saying. Those screens are gorgeous, right? Not as good as the OLEDs on some of the Androids and stuff, but they're still great looking screens, and they don't have to push a lot of pixels because it's about PPI. We've covered this before, right? So they can run games at 720p, and they're going to look great on that little screen. And the only way they're really going to keep up with modern games is they cut that compute in half again and run everything at 30 FPS. Then they can get some good looking games on that tiny little tablet. Now the question is how much hardware is in the docking station is supposed to boost the resolution for your TV screen, right?
Yeah,
it's curious. So I don't know how that's going to work, but I think they can get away with it. I think they're saying fuck consoles. They're going more mobile from here on out. Obviously, they've been trying since the Wii U.
All right. And we'll see how that goes. Right? What you're saying, going more mobile, right? Now I'm gonna play the role of the protagonist, the antagonist here, right? Check it out. More mobile. And the mobile market is huge, but the mobile market, they're not paying $60 for games.
I'm not saying I agree with it. I think Nintendo.
No, I'm just saying. So I hear what I said that they're going after the mobile market. Most and again, most kids play on handhelds. It is what it is. I'm not saying they're not some adults that play on handhelds, but I'm a grown man, who's a productive part of society. With a fully functional sex life, I don't have the time, to walk around with a hand. That's not I'm not knocking those that do. But again, this is not something that I asked for. We just want. Just a traditional console with, power. Is this going to get the same versions of these multiplats? Now listen. No, don't give me just a pass here because you guys are just shitting on Microsoft for 900p. Games or whatever the case may be. So. I don't. Why is Nintendo? One thing is, why is Nintendo not held to the standard as Microsoft and Sony? I don't get that. You know what I mean? It's okay to do your gimmicks, but you still got to offer what your competition is doing. Appeal to everyone. You can do the kid. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go.
They've never been known for graphics though, so I don't really think the Nintendo had really given two shit.
64, back in the day, the 64 was more powerful than the PlayStation 1. It just gave you cartridges. But the GameCube was more powerful than the PS2. They ain't started that weak shit to the Wii and the Wii U.
Yeah, but the Wii's like 8 years ago. And like since from like the last 8-9 years, they've
Nintendo has always never put out anemic hardware.
Yeah, but that's the old Nintendo, man. The new Nintendo is not like that, man. It's
even though they didn't have anemic hardware in the past, they restricted themselves through the format they use. So it was cartridges, and there was a 1.2 gigabyte mini disc. They're idiots, man. They just had their head up their asses for the past 20 years.
Too Much Food is about to join us. He wants to, something to add about the something you want to say about the Nintendo NX. Too Much Food. I'm sorry. Again, as you were saying, Dean.
I don't fucking remember.
Dealer, one of you guys were talking?
I think it was Dealer was talking. It was Reaper.
Yeah,
too much.
I'm sorry.
He was asking like 100 times in the comments to join.
Now
He says it's not working. He says he can't join. Send him another one.
Yeah, send him another one.
You have to keep pressing it. Too Much Food. You have to do it once or twice, and then it lets you in. No, I'm not like I played the last true Nintendo experience I had was when I was like 6 years old on the N64. My parents moved to Xbox after when the first one came out. So before that I was on PC.
I remember Nintendo Ghosts and Goblins, and I remember that wrestling game where it had like that guy with the X on his face. It looked like a luchador. Oh, that game was the shits for me as a kid, man. Like they had some good stuff as a kid, but I don't know. Ever since when I saw the Wii U the first time, the Wii, I was like, what the hell is this? Like their avatars looked retarded. I was not down with the Wii. The Wii U, I got it just for what was that racing game? Mario Kart. And after I got sick of Mario Kart, that thing sat there, just collected dust for months, and I sold it. And funny enough, I sold it for a profit. Weird.
Sorry, what you said? You said you stole it?
Yeah, I sold my Wii U, and I got a profit actually.
Yeah, you know what? I don't trade in anything. But the Wii U I traded in when at the E3 when they had the E3. Was it 2013? Whenever
right.
2013 at the E3 when they had the E3, I said, "Oh hell no! I got rid of this shit." Like I bought it day one. I waited, I said, "This ain't for me. I can't do this here." But as far as the specs though, you're the tech guy. How do you feel about that? Like, what are your thoughts? Like, if it's not up to par with the PS4, like, what are they really doing? Because truth be told, the regular PS4 is probably going to stop selling mostly, and most of the gamers are going to get the PS4 Pro that like the Sony line. Where does that leave the new Nintendo system? People are grabbing the Xbox One S for the 4K Blu-ray player, for the upscaled 1080p content to 4K, and for the HDR gaming. Where does that leave Nintendo? And then next year, you got the refresh of the Xbox One with the Scorpio. That's going to be doing 4K 30, 60 frames per second. Where does that leave Nintendo? Like, honestly, like I don't understand that. To be competitive, they have to be close spec-wise to what these systems could do. Even if they're going to offer the same type of characters and the same type of art direction that they like, they're going to need to have the power to do it, and they just don't.
Bro, as long as they're taking orders from Nintendo of Japan, they're fucked.
You know what? I want to say.
And does it make you sick when Reggie Fils-Aimé damage controls every single time he's in an interview about this, right?
Yeah.
Every single time he's like, "Oh, the Wii wasn't lightning in a bottle," like they did it on purpose. Like you didn't count on that happening, right?
Yeah.
So they've got to be honest with themselves and fucking fire everyone there. Rehire some people.
He dropped
Is he joining? Is he not able to join?
What'd you say?
Is Too Much Food joining? Or
I don't know. I have a problem with the link. I sent you the link. Maybe I don't know what the hell. I don't know. Sometimes that shit be happening with YouTube. I don't know. I just right click and copy and send it to him. Sometimes it be happening. But I'm sorry. As you were saying about, I was listening to you, bro. You done?
Reaper.
I'm done.
No, I'm done. I'm done.
Okay, all right. But yeah, anyway, I see that a lot. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not knocking those you guys that want to keep going out there and saving the princess. But you just seen this. I'm talking about, and I don't think Nintendo's going to get it until their core. These guys said they go out there and buy their console day one. Has to be, well, this is not what we want, or bro. I mean, it's like, are you guys gonna get the NX, or is this something that you're interested in?
Hell no.
It doesn't really give me a reason to buy it.
I won't be getting. If I need a handheld, I got a Vita, and I can stream my PS4 games to my Vita. If I need to play something, no thanks.
Oh well.
Showstopper show, what's up, everybody?
What's up?
What's up, show? You know what I mean? But I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting. I just want them to put out a capable console, and that I can get my. I don't want the get versus of the Division. I want regular games. You know what I mean? And the traditional control. Another thing, a problem with Nintendo. I brought this up earlier today. That every console that they come out with, they change their controller. If you look at Sony, they're basically kept the same controller with minor upgrades along the way to make them a little better. Nintendo, with that weird shit they be coming out with, you know what I mean? That it doesn't get people like I don't know to be invested in it. Like every time you get a controller, you got to learn the new button layout format. And to me, the best controller Nintendo ever made was probably the controller for the Super Nintendo. You know what I mean? The 6-button joint. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, but I see a lot of you guys. Huh?
Too much of food is in here now.
Oh, he's in here?
Yeah.
Where's the food at?
You got his mic on?
He ain't talking yet, but I see him.
Oh.
Unmute your mic.
Shout out to Tom Crow, or most full of shit dude in the comments. How you doing, buddy?
You there? Hello.
Too much food. Unmute your mic.
I still can't hear. I don't think he's talking yet.
He ate too much food.
Okay. I don't know what's going on. We can't hear you. If you are talking,
jump back in and jump back out, man.
Hop out and hop back in. If you try to talk, we can't hear nothing that you're saying. Let me make sure he ain't muted. Let me go to the soundboard thing. He's not muted. No, he's not muted. Maybe his mic is broke or something. But his thing came on front like he was about to talk in the middle. I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, as I was saying, man, I don't. Not saying I don't get it, but I just don't understand what Nintendo think with these gimmicks. They just can't make a traditional console. Not play the Pied Piper and do the kiddie thing for the kids. Cool, but give developers the hardware to bring their games to life. I mean, why we got to sacrifice for the GIMP version? And you Nintendo fans, you guys should speak up about this. You tired of getting the short bus versus the Call of Duty and and those games, Injustice. You know what I mean? Rock the short bus here, man.
The short bus version.
Yeah, you guys are eating lunch at 10:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? When you was going to school with the special education, they ate lunch early as hell, like 10:30 in the morning. Jokers, man. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it is what it is. I was trying to hope they get too much food and get his opinion on this before we got the hell out of here. But
maybe he'll jump back in.
Maybe he'll jump back in.
Got him. YouTube ninjas got him, man. But
I want to say something though. Forza Horizon 3 comes out at midnight for those of you that digitally ordered it, or if you're gonna go to, I don't know if your local store is doing a midnight launch. But this game is phenomenal in HDR. The peculiar highlights, just the sun glaring in your face, the real reflections, the variance of the God rays coming through the clouds and infecting the environment, like the sand and the water. The game is truly, truly a spectacle. To me, this is like a killer app for Xbox One. I've heard nobody say anything bad about it. Not even the fanboys. Nobody's got nothing to say.
So let me ask you this question. I asked this question yesterday on BGST. So do you think that Forza Horizon 3 can now become the face of the Forza franchise?
You know what? It is kind of becoming the more popular because
there we
go.
There we go. Now we can talk.
It's pick up and play. You have the open road.
A bit more hardcore on the other one, yeah.
Yeah, but they're two separate games. I would say perhaps Forza Forza 6, 7, whatever, the new one coming out, that franchise is more for the hardcore fan, where this is kind of a sim arcade. So they're about equal, man. To be completely honest with you, they're about equal. Maybe going forward, the Forza Horizon might become a little more popular because you got the music soundtrack. You know, it's the game is just fun, man. It's just fun. It's like the best. Me personally, it's the best racing game. I like it better than the regular Forza. But like I said, the hardcore guys might prefer that one.
Like I said, man, Forza 6's physics are a bit more realistic. The tire modeling's a little better, but the tuning's definitely more in depth in terms of how effective those tuning and spring rates are. But Horizon's definitely more of a laid back. I mean, it's still got best in class physics for an open world racing game, best in class car list, upgrades. I mean, it's a great game, and you know, we've been playing the Ultimate Edition. You got the Ultimate Edition, right, Dean?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah,
we got the Ultimate Edition. We've been playing it for 4 or 5 days now, and it's really good. So definitely go out and pick it up. It's worth picking up. It's much better than Forza Horizon 2, in my opinion. You guys know I play the fuck out of Forza. And I cannot wait to see if those wide bodies hit Forza 7, which you know they're coming.
And your friends on your friends list that have driver tires, like his dealer's on my list, and I saw him in there, and I raced him, and I beat him, and I hired him, and he's dealer's one of the best drivers in the world for Forza. So score for me, man. He's out there making me some money.
So my man, too much food. Now you have your own opinion of the Nintendo NX.
Yeah, man. I'm sorry, man. I had to pretty much beg for an invite just because I'm over here talking to my phone. Y'all can't hear me, but I'm talking to my phone. Y'all are killing me. So here's the thing. Because I am a huge proponent of this console that's yet to have been released, because it has flexibility and in all aspects. We're looking at a console that is breaking the tradition of what traditionally makes a console. It is, as mentioned before, I'm gonna repeat a couple things just to make my point. It is a hybrid, so you will have a handheld, you will have a docking station at your house for added power. From my sources that I've been talking to for the last few months, the dock is going to be optionary. You don't have to have it. It's kind of like if you're a pro gamer and you got a game more, you could buy that docket separately, so you don't have to spend $400 or $500. There's also a rumor that I can't pinpoint, even through sources, saying that the NX might have a 2-year contract where if you sign it, you get the console for free, and you pay $10 a month. So over the course of 2 years, that's $240.
Wow.
240. You think? Wait, listen. Let's be clear. This. So just saying, with all those pieces of component, the hardware, it's a lot of hardware. They got 3 pieces here. You got the handheld, the docking station, and the other part, right? For $250, and the Wii U still costs $300.
It's more about what is it? Signing a better deal. The Wii U's expensive to make because not a lot of people bought it, and on top of that, to keep old technology alive actually becomes expensive at a certain point. It's kind of like the Xbox 360. It was starting to become expensive again to build. It goes down.
After a while, they do get things become cheaper after a while.
Yes, they become cheaper after a while, but there comes a point where the cost of it start going back up because you're the only company paying these companies.
Here's the thing. I think that whatever's in the Wii U is custom. It's theirs. They paid for it. It's outright theirs.
Yes. So that means nobody else in the world is ordering these chips. So they're the only ones trying to sustain, or it's not sustainable for them to continue to pay for these chips that no one else wants. But these mobile chips will be cheap because they're mobile chips. After all, we're going to find these components in mobile products, and this is a mobile world. We're having billions upon billions. There's countries with where 75% of the population doesn't have bathrooms, but those same people have cell phones. So these chips, they become cheaper. It's easier to build mobile. On top of that,
now we're talking about now Nintendo themselves. They said this is not a handheld. This is their 9th generation offering. This is per Reggie. This is their 9th generation offering, which is coming out in 2017. It's not on par with hardware that came out in 2013. You don't think that's a problem?
Well, if we keep making that comparison, I think that will definitely be a problem. I think you can make a problem out of something that isn't. Like for example, the 8 MB memory cards on the PlayStation 2, they were never a problem up until the OG Xbox came up on scene with a hard disk drive, and you're like, I don't need memory cards. I don't have enough memory. The PS2's memory sucks. It's expensive. There's not enough space. Blah blah blah. You know, I think if you keep pointing certain things out,
but you have no choice. Listen, regardless of what Nintendo say or some of their zealous fans, you cannot ignore the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4. They're video game consoles. So we just we're not comparing apples to oranges. We're comparing apples with apples.
Absolutely, yeah. But you can say the same thing when it comes into what's most lucrative in this world of business, and
I don't care about Nintendo's
which is
money.
mobile.
I'm a consumer. Most gamers don't care about Nintendo's money.
Their
money means nothing to me. Nothing. I'm just talking about. We just left a generation with two where Nintendo had very shitty hardware. The Wii, they didn't get the games as the PS3 and the Xbox 360, and the Wii U. So you mean to tell me you're going to do the same thing all over again?
Here's the thing, though. Like, whose mobile console is more powerful? The Sony's mobile console or Microsoft's more powerful, or console or Nintendo's? Like, they have a market to themselves, and they're going to enjoy that. They have zero competition in the world of mobile. And like this is an example I use.
Well, they got a little bit of competition in the world of mobile.
I mean, from the big three.
Every single smartphone, you know. They just sent Mario,
and you know, this is an example. I remember talking. I don't know if I did it on a podcast or in a private party chat with Iron Wolf, because we're talking about UWP. I always mention to them the developers that are developing for the NX. They said it's the easiest console they've ever had to write code for, and the easiest console they've ever had a port for. So porting is easy, coding is easy. And I explained to Wolf, I'm like, hey, why is everybody praising UWP for being able to scale from laptop to cell phones to tablets to game consoles? But when Nintendo's console, they came up with something essentially the same, strictly for their own console. Why is it all of a sudden a problem? They can scale for this console. So you may not need all these fancy visuals in a tiny 5-inch screen that's in your hand. You don't need, HDR lighting. You don't need.
Why don't I? HDR gaming.
Well, the Samsung S7 actually has HDR on it.
Yeah, all cell phones got me. But my iPhone 6S has HDR.
No, it doesn't have. That's different. That's for the record. I'm talking like it plays HDR video. You're talking about HDR photos. It plays like HDR
photos, not videos.
Yeah, the S7 does HDR10 on it.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you're a jack of all trades, but you're a master of no craft. That's like the Sony phone that they came out with a 4K display that only displays the home menu in 4K and photos in 4K, but it can't do anything else in 4K.
I get what you're saying. The whole take away the handheld part, fine. But what about when it's hooked up to the station? I mean, who doesn't like nice graphics? Who doesn't? Is this going to become another issue?
Here's what we can go back to. We can go all the way back to your hard drive comparison earlier, because it all kind of loops out this way. You say that we didn't complain about space until the hard drive in the 360, and I don't remember complaining about space in the PS2 memory card in the first place, but ultimately it came down to what you got for your money, right? This is what it all comes down to. What are you getting for your money? And with the OG Xbox, you got a 10 gigabyte hard drive, for at the time was pretty massive. That hard drive enabled you to install games you could not get on PS2 because of the hard drive, like Elder Scrolls, right, and other features, music on games, all kinds of stuff. And on the PS2, you paid similar money and didn't get any of that, and had to pay extra for those memory cards.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what do you spend? You spend $400 over here, $400 over there. Compare what you're getting. I mean, it's going to be for a different type of person if you're going to go mobile with it, and not many people are going to want to do that. So they just put themselves at a disadvantage. Is what happened.
I think in the home aspect, in the home, getting it into the home. I shouldn't say that because they can still take a handheld into the house. I mean, for those who prefer gaming at the house, I think that they are at a disadvantage. But
what would you say if they said, "Fuck it, we're just kidding. Here's a badass fucking 7 teraflop console. It's got a great online. We've got all the infrastructure up. Here's all the fucking third-party stuff, and the games look amazing." I mean, would you be really excited, right? Would you be more or less?
I mean, I wouldn't. What I want to know, what different will it do? Like, it has more power.
Well, it would be the console
it has more power. You're putting on camouflage. You're blending in with everybody else. You're not bringing anything.
I mean, nobody cares though. It's like saying, well, this 4K
right.
TV does what that one does, but as long as this one does it better, no one gives a shit, right? So if Nintendo do what someone else does, if they improve on it or make it their own, nobody's complaining. You still get those IPs, right?
Well, I'm not saying that Nintendo can stop playing the flute in the corner, but you still have to offer what your competitor is doing. Let's be clear this, okay? No one's asked for the shit that they're doing. This is something Nintendo and conducted itself that's trying to push off in the masses. People just want a traditional console to play the game. But if you still want to do that other stuff, fine. But why do I have to sacrifice in performance to include that other stuff? Because again, they're gonna get the hardware. That's a lot of pieces. I mean, I'm sure they're gonna get the hardware, the meats, the steak and the potatoes to include all. You got the docking station, you got this, and you got that. And again, and you talk about a handheld that's 6 inches. That's kind of big. You know what I mean? And again, I don't. This is like I said. This is not going to be cheap. I say at least $400. And my thinking is again that they sacrifice the specs of their console to do this gimmick thing that no one wanted. I mean, this is not even new. You see how the NVIDIA Shield bomb? Why do you want that shit? I
don't know. At $400,
because the NVIDIA Shield is a super expensive idea of an NX kind of. Because you got to have a PC, bro. That's not cheap. You got to have a PC on the side. You have to have certain services, a PC on the side, and badass internet connection.
When did the 3DS become successful? Because when they launched at $250, it bombed.
Yes,
right?
Absolutely. Right. And then they dropped the price.
This handheld, whatever, but Nintendo says their console, whatever. This handheld thing, it's gonna be at least $400. This market that you're talking about, this whole mobile market is huge. They're not accustomed to paying $60 for games. They're getting games for $1, $5. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just don't see this thing. My thing is this will be the third generation in a row with shitty hardware. I'm not asking for the gimmicks. I'm not asking for the 2 kickstands on my bike. All I need is one goddamn kickstand. You know what I mean? I mean, I don't know, man. I get it. You're more of a Nintendo fan than me. Mario, I don't care about Zelda. I don't care about Metroid. Because me, the art style doesn't resonate with me. They've been doing that scene. Like to me, the characters haven't evolved. They still don't fucking talk. Like, could you imagine playing Halo with no dialogue?
What's that fucking thing you always say about Nintendo, right?
They talked in Metroid.
Nintendo hadn't grown up with you, right? That's what you say? What's that shit you say?
I don't know. I've grown up with Nintendo, but Nintendo hasn't grown up with me.
Exactly.
Well, because their market hasn't grown up. Their market is children. It will forever be children. It's like saying Disney isn't smart for, Well,
more and more kids, every single year people are more and more tech savvy. They care about performance more than ever. So
yeah, and parents get lazier and lazier, and they keep buying their kids more and more tablets and phones so that they don't have to be a parent.
But you know what? The tablets. My girlfriend's kids, they have a Wii U, and they do play the Wii U. I'm not gonna say they don't play it; they play it, but they play on their tablets a hell of a lot more than they do on the Wii U because they got like Minecraft on their tablets. They got all kinds of games on their tablets, and they prefer to play on their tablets than on the Wii U. Now, as a parent, you're going out to buy this for your kid. I got to be honest here. If this thing is priced at $249, then yeah, it'll have its place and it'll do okay. If this thing is priced at $400, there's no way in hell a parent is gonna go out and buy
$400 will be both of them together. $249 will be the console on its own, the handheld on its own.
And when they're going to go buy it in the store, I'm sure that the rep will be saying, "Why are you buying this for that price when you can get a PS4 or Xbox One?"
PS4,
cheaper.
Because let's face it, all those hipsters that have those tech jobs are the ones who still have a retail's job because they're still, marching for Sony. Every time I go in there, the only console that exists is PlayStation. So let's face it.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I've been going around different stores lately just to test the temperature, and a lot of them are quite sour and disappointed, and they're not so much on the Sony bandwagon right now at this present time. But regardless, the NX, if it's priced anywhere over $240. That thing is going to fail. I'm hearing
it needs to hit $199 if it's just a handheld.
I'm hearing some rumors that they have two versions. That they have an NVIDIA version with a SoC, and then they have an AMD SoC, and they're going to decide which one they're going to use going forward.
It's Tegra, man. It's going to be Tegra all the way.
Yeah, that's what I heard. I heard it's Tegra too.
Because right now the developers have a custom Tegra X1 SDK development kit, and it's overclocked at the moment. So that way, when the console launches, the games won't be that below their vision, not too much. These initial games that are going to come out are actually not going to match their vision entirely, because right now the Tegra X2 chips, nobody has them, and the only people that have them now are NVIDIA and Nintendo.
Yeah, and it does point in that direction, because NVIDIA did cancel their Shield 2, and they said to investors when they asked why, they said it was a business decision, and that business decision would be like, why are we going to compete with our own chip on the Nintendo when the Nintendo platform is probably going to be more successful? However, them saying that they're going to use AMD software too, that there's a possibility of that, could be in defense to them. People saying, listen, it's weak spec hardware, so maybe they're trying to get something that's a little bit more competent. So we really don't know.
I know, Z, you were about to say that this was a rumor, but dude, I have three guys. I have three Nintendo guys. So far, they've been right about everything but one, where they thought that the Tokyo Game Show would be where they announced
Nintendo guys, man. To me, all the motherfuckers are weird. But anyway, hold on. I gotta say this. You know what I mean? I know Nintendo guys, they like the Nintendo's exclusive, which is cool. I don't care for them, but what I eat don't make nobody shit, right? But the main reason why the Wii U got stomped out, let's be honest here, multi-plats rule. They do. You get exclusives every 5 to 6 months. You get multi-plats every Tuesday. Now, if there's going to be a situation again when developers, even though the game may be easy to code for, I'm not negating that, but when they had to go out of their way to make their multi-plats, to scale it down to work on your hardware, it's going to be an issue. Even though, like you said, the Wii got Madden, but they didn't get the same Madden as the PS3 and the 360. Now, if we're going to have this shit all over again, like I don't know who they're appealing this to. You know, if they say kids, mobile market, fine. It's adults that make this industry go. It's not children, because children get games for their birthdays and for Christmas. Adults buy games all year long.
I agree with that. Yes.
You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that it's okay to offer something different, but you also have to cover the bases. You understand what I'm saying? And if you don't learn anything, this be the third generation in a row. You know what I mean? With the same, I don't know, man. They said Nintendo, learn. I don't know.
And Nintendo and Nintendo, Sony has pushed the narrative of like 1080p. Everything's gonna be beautiful. Everything's gonna look nice and crisp. So like, and a lot of the younger kids that are watching their older brothers play on the PS4, they're not gonna want to go play on the basic Nintendo NX if it's not up to snuff. These kids.
Bro, but who is gonna have a magnifying glass looking at their 5-inch display, trying to count all these pixels? Like, it's gonna look good on a small 5-inch display.
Yeah,
man.
but they're not. But the rumor is that they're not selling it as solely as a handheld. They're selling it as a all-in-one system, and it's gonna be priced at like $400. So at that price point, sorry, that's a hard sell.
If they do that, I'll check with my dudes. But if they do that, then they're dead, and they should call it quits. But
if it's cheap like 200, 250, sure, it'll do okay, because it is cheaper than the consoles that are out now. It offers a different experience. Sure, it'll have its place, but at $400, forget it.
I think with their market, or with the market being more mobile than anything, it makes these chips affordable. I think that's one thing that goes in favor of the consumer in terms of pricing, and also with the $1 billion deal that they made with Apple. I feel like that gives them a little bit of breathing room to lose money off of what they initially want.
Chips. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go.
No, I was just going to say, now I know that Kimishima said that their console won't be selling at a loss, but I feel like with that extra $1 billion in cash now that they have, I feel like this could help create some wiggle room. Now, that's just that second part. That's me speculating. The first part that I said about the chips being cheaper is fact.
The mobile chips are fine, cheaper, right? Fine, but you got 3 pieces of hardware in this get up here. You got the docking station. You got another. Like that shit is not going to be cheap.
Yeah,
and I mean that's a lot of hardware there.
Yeah,
again, because they sacrificed the specs of the console to include this gimmick shit. Yeah, that's my.
What do you think will sell more, Z? A PlayStation 4 Pro with the VR headset and your Move and your camera, or the NX?
If the NX, no, I might take the VR. I mean, I like beautiful fast.
That's $1,000 right there.
I mean, at the end of the day, I like nice looking games. I don't want to. Here's my thing. I don't want to hop on the NX like I did with the Wii U and feel like I'm taking a step back. I bought a 8th generation console with a 7th generation console. They couldn't do the basic things that I was doing on my original Xbox. Voice chat mandatory in every game. Join session in progress. I mean, this is basic stuff. And if this is going to be the same thing again, when I shouldn't hop on your new console, your new hardware, and feel like I'm taking a step back and you're not doing just I'm not asking to play God of War on a Nintendo console. I'm just asking for the basic. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I think that if Nintendo doesn't stop with their policies and stop trying to be the parent in everyone's home, you know what I mean? That they're, I don't.
That's a whole other realm. I think that I agree with you on many fronts. I feel like in terms of a game, this is what makes me laugh, because we hear a lot of hypocrisy. Last generation and this generation. Remember when Xbox 360 didn't have a Blu-ray player? People would say, "Oh, I don't care about the Blu-ray because I care about gaming." Now this generation with UHD, PlayStation gamers are saying, "I don't care about UHD. I care about gaming." And I think that's going to be something that plays along the lines with Nintendo. This is why I think it's a hypocrisy, because they're really good at creating games, but they're bad at creating those or getting those features that you're talking about that we're missing. So I feel like when I play Nintendo's consoles, I'm glad that you brought that up, because I don't think about that when someone asks me about their consoles, because I think about the good times that I have playing their games, because none of those things bother me up until you make me think about it. So I think that's cool that you brought that up, because this whole time I didn't think about any of those features that they lacked. So I give you that. That's definitely you're definitely right about that. They need to get that right this time, because if they don't, I feel like the console could be great, the games could be great, the price could be great, but if they're missing those features again, I think even that will kill them. They need to get everything right.
Well, I guess you're about right. But with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we conclude today's podcast. Thank you, my man. Too Much Food. Joining the show. He had his he was dotting the I. He had his Wii U panties on. He was dotting the I today. But thank you guys.
He made a very good argument. Too Much Food. He did a really good job.
I tried. Thank you.
But anyway, like I said, actually tomorrow I'm going to be talking to Real Gamer 27. He's a big Nintendo guy. Also, I'm just trying to pick these Nintendo guys' brain. I'm trying to see what it is, man, about this fairy dust, man. They got these guys' damn legs, man. But anyway, like I said, man, thank you for rocking out with us, man. As always, man. It's been a pleasure. Bang, bang.